Chasin Birdies. Oh, man. I love that intro, huh?
Yep. Adam
What's up,
Schwinn.
bud?
Hey, bud.
I mean, I hadn't seen you in a minute. In a minute.
I mean,
How you doing?
yeah, good, bud. We had a nice little lunch with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was fun. We had a couple beers. They smashed each other with grilled cheese.
Yep.
Keep
Dude,
it
that
moving.
Italian hoagie, I don't know about you guys out there, but like a good Italian hoagie, you cannot beat a good Italian hoagie. And that place had killer Italian hoagies. So we're back in the saddle today. Another episode of Chasin Birdies. Thanks for listening. And here we are. And I don't know what we want to talk about right now.
The banter session was okay. I think that we could have let go a little bit more. But you know what? It's tough because you can't. Our platform right now is so big.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell everybody where we are on the old podcast list right now, boys?
Hey, guys. I mean, first off, we started this March 4th, all right? And this is kind of like a fun, yeah. We've moved up 16 spots to number 40 in Golf Listen podcasts.
That's awesome.
And that's all across the Apple, Spotify platforms. That's everything. So that's not bad.
No.
So our goal is top 15
Mm-hmm.
come Jan 1, 2022.
Well, I tell you, we keep doing what we're doing. And you guys out there, we get messages, we get thumbs up. I mean, we rarely get a thumbs down, but every now and then we like a thumbs down because we can't get complacent here. But to be inside or at top 40 of all-time golf podcasts and trending upwards, dude, we jumped 16 spots. I mean, give me some of that, huh?
But that's not bad. That means we were 56th.
But if there's ever a podcast like award ceremony and we get nominated, boys, and we have to go, and
I'm
sit
wearing
there,
cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
oh, bud, guaranteed. Ketchup stain. The boys did it out of a kitchen.
Literally.
But
So
it's all
anyways,
fun.
enough patting our own back.
Yeah.
It's not classy. But the banter session went well. The Sam Bettinardi interview was awesome.
Oh my God. Okay, the Sam Bettinardi episode is our first episode we did in person,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gotten incredible positive feedback. We had a little bit of a technicality issue there the day of the drop on the 19th. If y'all don't, well, maybe you didn't notice, but the episode didn't drop until like 10 o'clock.
It's
that
fine. We all
morning.
make mistakes in life.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but we were getting these messages, dude, your episode's not out yet. What's up? So little technicality issue on the back end. It was fixed. And so, yeah, it was a great hit, a really great hit. And today we're, shifting back to a little bit of our roots now. We're getting back into the NHL with our guest today, Ryan Callahan, and former Team USA.
So, yeah, Olympian.
for the Olympics.
Yeah, bud. Glad you paid attention. But, yeah, long NHL career, Olympian. I mean, the closest I ever came to the Olympics was watching it, so it's not bad.
No, what are you going to be in the Olympics for? Cigar smoking? Which you should probably cut that off.
So, yeah, Ryan Callahan, awesome dude, loves his golf. Again, that's the common denominator for a lot of these hockey guys. They love their golf and in the off season, and so yeah, it was fun to chat with him about that. A little bit of Olympic talk, and he won a silver medal. Lost to Canada when Sidney Crosby scored that game-winning goal in overtime in Canada. But he's got a silver medal to show for, and that's pretty cool. I mean, and again, he talks about how it was hard for him to look at that medal for a long time because of losing in the gold medal game. But now he's come to grips, and it's pretty cool to have a silver medal in your hands.
Loving golf, loving life, doing good things in life too with his charity there. So we had a lot of success with the NHL realm, and we're happy to bring it back to you again with another former NHL player in Ryan Callahan. So let's get this baby rolling right now, and we hope y'all enjoy this episode of Chasin Birdies. As you all know by now, Chasin Birdies is proud to be partners with Holderness and Bourne. Check them out online at hbgolf.com. Holderness and Bourne makes fabulous pieces that help you look good on the course, even if your game is not up to par. Check out their new arrivals now for this golf season. Also, head on over to chasinbirdies.com to get some custom Chasin Birdie gear from Holderness and Bourne. We'll continue to drop these pieces through every season. That's chasinbirdies.com and Holderness and Bourne at hbgolf.com. Hey, welcome back, guys, for another episode of Chasin Birdies. And, man, our guest today not only can chase birdies, but, boy, has he chased a lot of pucks in his career. Captain, Olympian, I mean, he's done it all.
There's a lot there.
And anyone with the name Ryan he's a good man by me. So Ryan Callahan joins us today, former Ranger. Ryan, how you doing?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
No, man, we appreciate your time. We know it's valuable, so thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
you got drafted 127th overall in 2004 by the Rangers, which that has to be I assume that you were a Rangers fan growing up, being from Rochester, New York.
Yeah, it was actually being from Rochester. I was a big Sabres fan growing up,
Okay.
being just down I-90, not far from me. So I used to go to 1 or 2 games a year with my dad and brother and stuff. But I think being drafted by the Rangers is probably second best to that, just being an original 6 team. As you said, I think anybody who lives in New York State roots for the Rangers as well. I always cheered for them as well. So to be able to be picked up by them, I think that was kind of a dream come true, just being such a historic organization, I think is the biggest thing, and then I couldn't have been more excited. Hey, the first year I was eligible for the draft, I got passed up and nobody selected me. So I was just happy to go the second year, and it was for the Rangers. So it was cherry on top.
So was that a little bit of a chip on your shoulder for the second year? That little gap there, work a little bit harder, prove them wrong type thing?
Yeah, absolutely. That first year I was up playing junior hockey in Canada, and my first draft eligible year, I didn't have that great of a year. It was my first year up there in Canada. Kind of just getting used to the league, wasn't a star player. And then that following year I was more comfortable. We ended up winning the championship that year, and obviously was more recognized, and luckily went in the draft that year.
Well, yeah, I mean, and here's my question, not because I might be ignorant to this, but not even from New York, but is there any type of perception out there amongst players and or fans that, hey, maybe the Rangers are superior to the Islanders, or is that not really anything that anyone really pays attention to?
Oh, I mean, that rivalry is real. There's definitely no question about that. Obviously, my opinion, I think they definitely are superior to the Islanders.
That's right.
Just for my time there, I'm sure I'm not going to make too many fans of that. I think Islander fans already don't like me, so I'm okay with that. But
right.
But yeah, I mean, that rivalry is real. I remember we play them in the regular season. The game wouldn't mean much, obviously 2 points, but you talk to fans afterwards and like, oh, we could have lost 4 in a row and beat the Islanders. And they'd be like, thank you so much for beating the Islanders. That was a great game. And like, well, we just lost 4 in a row. They're like, yeah, it's okay. You beat the Islanders, So, that rivalry in New York is very intense.
It's very much like the Pittsburgh Philly rivalry as well. So, I mean, it's very intense, and the players don't like each other, and the fans hate each other. So
yeah, I remember we used to play in that old Coliseum that they're last year in there right now on the island, right? So it's just a real small little bar.
It's a dump.
Yeah, basically. But the crowd is right on top of you, right? It's loud in there. And I remember in the third period, literally, you just look in the stands and it just fights with, you hear roaring, you look up and there's a brawl in the 300 section. You hear noise, and the two of you look over, there's a fight there. You could just watch the fights in the crowd the whole third period. There's a good atmosphere in there, that's for sure.
So what was the atmosphere like playing for the Rangers? I mean, again, in Madison Square Garden, big city, bright lights. You are under the microscope. It's almost a little bit of you're not in Canada, obviously, but they know everything about you.
Yeah, it was definitely different. I think I was lucky enough as that's where I started, so that's all I knew.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense,
mm-hmm.
So going into the league and obviously eventually becoming captain there. Like, I mean, people ask me like, what about the media attention and the attention? I'm like, yeah, I didn't know anything different. So I just
mm-hmm.
thought, that's kind of how it was. And then, so I was okay with it. It's kind of how I grew up, realizing that, everything you do and every move you make, someone's going to be watching, or, you're going to have that media attention around you. And then I got traded to Tampa. And I remember my first game in Tampa, I'm sitting in the locker room after the game, and in New York, usually all the media comes flying in.
Mm-hmm.
There's 15, 20 people, cameras, everything. And so sitting there, there's like maybe 2 or 3 reporters, no cameras. And I'm like, so I said, it was Phil was sitting next to me. I said, is the guy stuck in the elevator? Like, where's the rest of the media?
Right.
Because he looks and he starts laughing. He goes, nope. He goes, this is it. I'm like, holy cow. So
yeah, it's a lot easier, right?
I realized the difference real quick, once I got to Tampa. And I think it'd be tougher to go from a team like that, to New York when you're used to that. But like I said, that's kind of how I grew up and what I knew. So it didn't make a difference to me.
Well, and that's the crazy thing right now you look at the NHL, and it's a very young league right now. And these 18, 19-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids come into the league, and they handle the media gracefully, perfectly.
So well.
I mean, it's really cool to watch how mature these kids are. And I feel like a lot of that, too, is the social media aspect of it. You didn't really have to worry about that when you were in New York. That's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, and thank God. I see what goes on in social media, and it was towards the end of my career that, the whole social media craze started. But I couldn't imagine, being in New York and having that scrutiny. And like you said, everything you do, every move you make is on social media, the critics and everything. So I stayed off that as long as I could,
right?
Just to try to ignore it. But yeah, I was very lucky. When I was a young kid, that wasn't around. So I didn't have to worry about it.
And a lot of these media members, they're gutless. They go after your family member. I mean, your kid. It's just there's no end to it with them.
Yeah,
and
there's definitely some of them there that they don't hold back. But yeah, it's tough to deal with.
Yeah. So you get traded for Martin St. Louis, which is, I mean, that's obviously a Hall of Famer right there, and unbelievable career. What was that? Did you know you were getting traded? Was it unexpected? What happened when you got dealt?
Yeah, so I was in a contract year with New York. We were going through negotiations all year, and we couldn't get to a number. It kind of got a little bit ugly there towards the end with us, and the way it was going. And about a week before the trade deadline, we actually agreed to a number, but they wouldn't give me a no trade or a no move clause. And I had a young family at the time, and through the negotiations, I knew they were trying to shop me a little bit and everything else. I'm like, I'm not going to sign this because I might sign this contract without the no trade, and they might ship me somewhere that I'm stuck wherever they send me for 6 years, So when they wouldn't give me that, I realized there was like 3 days before the trade deadline. I'm like, there's probably a good chance I'm going somewhere. And it was still a shock. I was still surprised when I got traded to Tampa. I could see it coming, but when it actually happens and you've been replaced for that long, captain of the team, emotionally invested, I was shocked. I was upset. I did not want to go, but I got to Tampa, and I loved it. I fell in love with it right away. I mean, I was wearing flip flops, t-shirt, shorts, walking to the rink. I'm like,
right.
We had a really good young team at the time as well. So I fell in love with that city and that organization right away. And that summer I ended up re-signing for 6 years with Tampa.
Yeah, their organization over the last 12 years has really been impressive to watch. I mean, talent after talent. You got Stamkos, Hedman. There's so much talent on that team right now. And
did you play with Stamkos? Was he there when?
Yep. I played with Stammer the whole time I was there. Yep. Obviously, unbelievable guy, good captain. Me and him became, very close, good friends now. So I was extremely excited last year when I got a chance to see him finally win it after all the injuries and everything he's gone through to finally lift it. That was pretty special.
So did you play in Tampa with our good friend JT Miller?
I did. Yeah, he was part of the wave of New York players that came over. It seemed like New York and Tampa opened up the floodgates trade-wise. We had Boiler, Strawman, McDonough, me, and then obviously, as you said, Millsy came over as well.
Wow.
So I played with him in New York, and then I also played with him in Tampa.
Yeah, he had mentioned that he drinks more Guinness than you. So.
Yeah, right.
Guinness seems...
we had a couple challenges on the road. Don't worry, we put that to the test a couple times. But yeah, he's a great guy. We had some memorable nights, and some good days together.
He had mentioned, I think it could have been a couple memorable nights after you guys got swept in Tampa. He said that you guys had a good few nights there with the Guinnesses. So.
Yeah, we did. Probably one too many, but sometimes the bartender overserves you. I'm sure you guys have had that as well, right?
It
Not
happens.
your fault.
It's all on them. So
exactly.
What was your mood or expectation like, or thought process when you found out in 2010 that you were named to Team USA for the Winter Olympics in Vancouver?
Yeah, absolutely thrilled. It was unbelievable feeling to, because I'll be honest, I didn't know if I was going to make that team. I was kind of probably my guess is one of the last picks to get on that team. So when I found out that, that I was going to be able to go to the Olympics and, represent Team USA, it was overwhelming, the excitement, and the experience in Vancouver was unreal. All my family was there, so we'd practice in the morning. Then all afternoon, you'd walk around the city with your family, and it was just basically one giant party. Every bar was packed. Everybody was wearing their country's colors. Canada would win a bronze medal in some random sport, and the whole city would, go crazy. You could hear every bar screaming and yelling, and just the vibes around it was absolutely amazing. And then, obviously, we were lucky enough to get to the gold medal game, and we ended up losing it in overtime, unfortunately. But at the time, I was like, I was obviously disappointed. We wanted to win, and for a while I wasn't really happy at all. About a month later, I realized, what, got an Olympic silver medal and be able to show my kids this, and
yeah,
it was pretty special. So it's probably one of my favorite moments in my career is to be able to go over there and play in the Olympics, and then got to do it again in Sochi the following Olympics, and that experience wasn't quite the same, as we were stuck in the village, really nothing to do. They advised us for our families not even to go over there. My family wasn't even there. Yeah, so it was definitely
weird,
two different feelings of the Olympics. But I mean, obviously, it was still cool to be there and represent your country. But our village where we sat, we were right on, I believe it was the Black Sea, and you could see in the distance this military boat that was there just in case things went bad. You got that happening, and you're like, what, just had an uneasy feeling the whole time you were there.
Yeah, a good buddy of mine that played on your team then was Paul Martin, and yeah, Paulie said the same thing. I think he got hurt. I think he broke his hand in 2014. He was there, but the same thing. His family, he kept them away, and just a scary time. And I mean, that's it. We just had JT on talking about the Olympics, and it's kind of, they don't know, or is the NHL going to play? Are they not going to play? And I know the NHLPA is involved, and it's a little crazy of a time right now.
Yeah, I think it's a shame. I'll be honest with you. Did not send the NHL players there. Obviously they weren't going to go to the last Olympics, and it's such an honor to be able to represent your country. It means more than hockey. Means more than a sport. And you want the best players in the world over there, and to take. I was extremely lucky, obviously, to play in two of them, and to think about the young guys coming in now that would have a chance to go, and having that maybe taken away from them.
Yeah,
right?
that sucks.
I think it's a shame. I mean, I understand the business side of it with the money and the insurance and everything else, but I just think it's a shame, because it's quite a feeling to be able to put on that USA sweater and represent something way bigger than yourself, or even way bigger than the sport of hockey.
Yeah. Well, and like you said too, I mean, growing up as a hockey player, there's two things that you strive to get: a Stanley Cup and a gold medal. And you've basically taken that away, that second part away from any of the NHL players, which, like you said, there's nothing like those games. You got the best talent in the world on the same ice. I mean, the fourth lines are first lines on most NHL teams.
Exactly.
Was that Crosby? Crosby, did he score the game winner in that game, Ryan?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I still have nightmares. Him coming out of the corner, shooting it, and putting it in the net. Yeah, so he did. He scored the winner there.
You were in the league for a long time. In your mind, in the time that you played, Who had the best work ethic, the hardest worker, most talent, would you say?
I mean, I guess it's two different questions. You're talking about just the most talented player, and I probably would say Crosby is probably the most talented all-around player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And McDavid, I think, is going to maybe challenge that, but I don't think he's there yet. But I would definitely put Crosby as the best player that I've played against, just in terms of everything he could do. I mean, he was very good defensively, good on faceoffs. He could set his teammates up. He made his line mates way better than sometimes they should have been. He could score goals, just an unbelievable leader as well. So he's probably the best player. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of work ethic, there's a lot of guys that probably stick out to me. I think one of them is Henrik Lundqvist, and the way he worked, way he mastered his craft. He was a guy that, was on the ice early, on the ice late, and always trying to get better, working with the goalie coach there in New York. He was a hardworking guy, but I mean, at that level, there's a lot of guys that put the hard work in to get there, right? So
yep.
It's hard to point out one or two, but he pops in my head for probably a guy that worked really hard at his craft, and it showed on the ice.
For sure.
Well, talking to you right now, Ryan, it sounds like you would be a really good hockey analyst. And from what I understand, is there a rumor? Is it true you just got picked up by ESPN as a future analyst?
I can't confirm or deny that. I guess nothing's finalized there yet. But I've done stuff with the NHL Network, and I've also done stuff with NBC the past year and a half now, and I've enjoyed it. I mean, I fun with it. Keeps me in the game,
right.
Talking hockey, watching hockey. So I've had fun with it, and we'll see what comes next with it.
That's awesome.
I know in the few conversations that you and I have had, you've formed a foundation with your wife, the Ryan Callahan Foundation. So do you want to kind of fill the listeners in a little bit about your foundation, what it's doing, and how we can help?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I got to Tampa, I signed a 6-year deal there. We knew we were going to be in Tampa for a while, and my wife and I wanted to give back and do something for the community there. And my wife lost a family member early on to pediatric cancer, and I've just through doing work in New York with kids with cancer, it's something that both of us held near and dear to us, to our hearts. And so it just started pretty simple, and we're having pediatric cancer families come to the game, sit in a suite. We'd buy a suite, we bring a bunch of families in, and then after the game, they'd come down and I'd sign some autographs, take some pictures. And through meeting these families, we're like, we got to do more. Like, these kids are amazing. These families need more, money-wise, support. So through that, after that first year, we started the Ryan Callahan Foundation. We got legalized, got our 501c3, and we expanded what we were doing. And we started what we called the 2-4 Club, where it's almost like a Make-A-Wish style type of thing, where we were picking a family each month and sending them on vacation to a place where they wanted to go for the weekend. And our foundation is kind of geared towards family unity and spending time together away from the treatment center, to make memories that, are going to last forever, that, not necessarily are, cancer related or at the treatment center. So we've also realized that siblings, a lot of times, and rightfully so, is a lot of attention on the child who is sick, and the siblings don't get forgot about, but there's not as much care to them, and they're not doing their sports that they usually do because everybody's at the hospital. So family unity was a big thing for us. And as we kept going through the years, we also realized that a lot of these families and parents needed help financially because they were at the hospital so much, they were losing their jobs. Just because your child has cancer doesn't mean your mortgage, your phone bill, your electrical bill, the need to work, that doesn't go away, and that doesn't stop. So we started branching out and doing a lot of financial help to these families, paying mortgages, paying gas bills for them to go back and forth to the hospital. So we've kind of touched in every little area, and we just continue to grow. I mean, where we see needs, we jump in and try to help these kids and these families out. And
that's
if
awesome.
you want to help out, we go to RyanCallahanFoundation.org to read up more about what we do, how we're helping. You can donate on there. It's something that probably I'm most proud of in my career, even besides the hockey stuff. it's just very rewarding to meet these kids and these families and see what they're going through and knowing that, you're helping them out. So it's probably what I'm most proud of for the 13 years I played in the NHL.
Well, and now back to the social media, this is where it helps out. It gives you a platform. Not only do you have a platform playing in the NHL at two of the biggest teams, Tampa and New York, but also the social media aspect of it can kind of bring this to the forefront. So that's where the social media does help out.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's actually, once we started our foundation is when I started my Twitter and everything else. So it kind of forced my hand to get in the social media game, just to, like you said, reach more people, build more awareness. And that is a good thing about social media. It's a great avenue to reach people. Yep.
That's great to hear, Ryan. I mean, that's really good stuff. And listeners, again, make sure you check out the website, read up on it, and, maybe make a donation or figure out a way to help. It's good. It's good human cause. And that was Ryan Callahan Foundation.com.
.org. Yep.
.org. I'm
Ryan
sorry.
Callahan Foundation.org. Yep.
Awesome.
All right. So you just got off the golf course. How'd you play today?
I did okay. Not bad for me. I shot 82 today, which is usually right in my ballpark.
There you go.
So I'm a 6 handicap, and I guess that's a little high for me. But I played I'm a member here in Rochester at Oak Hill.
Oh wow!
And I played the championship course today, so I have my challenges with that. The rough's a little long sometimes, whacking through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that course looks beautiful. I've never played it, but.
And what's the strength of your game? Putting?
My short game actually has been good. My drive, I think my drive is what hurts me.
Yeah.
I'm a long distance. I hit it a ways, but I mean, I think that's probably most hockey players have a tough time keeping it straight sometimes. But yeah, it's I love it. I mean, I love playing golf. I played since I was, real young, and it's something I really enjoy doing.
Well, you know what it is. It's that chase, and that's what we talk about on Chasin Birdies. I mean, we're out there chasing birdies, and you get through a round of golf. You might not be playing well. You come down to 18th hole, you hit a good shot, and guess what? You're already thinking about when you're coming back. I mean, that's golf.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I mean, thinking about 18 today, I had a pretty close match with a buddy of mine I was playing, and hit one a little right, then kind of through the rough, didn't get all the way up. It's an elevated 18th green. I'm sitting at the bottom of it. I chip it past the hole, and I'm sitting on the fringe behind the hole, maybe 10 feet from the hole, looking downhill. He's putting too. He's about 20 feet away. He ends up 3-putting. I put mine off the fringe, hit the pin, drop it.
No.
Could have been better shot to win the match. So that's exactly, you're right. Right there, I was like, okay, when we playing again?
Yeah.
So that's what does it right there.
That's the best part about golf too. I mean, you think about it, you were one of the most elite athletes for 13 years, and you still have the ability to play golf for the rest of your life with your children, with your best friends. I mean, there's very few things in this world that we can do with 3 other buddies that you really enjoy and travel the world with. So,
absolutely, I couldn't agree more with you. Yeah, it's an unbelievable sport.
Well, and also the aspect of being outdoors. I mean, COVID has done so well for golf in general. I mean, some of these guys we spoke to, even people that we know that own clubs, I mean, their rounds are up. And I think that has a lot to do with, it is a game that's played outdoors, and you can get away from the crammy of being, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I guess what I'm trying to say is
one of the safe things you could actually do during this pandemic, right? Is be outside and still be able to enjoy yourself on a golf course, basically, right? Without having to worry about all the restrictions and everything else. So
how is the member guest at Oak Hill?
It's good. I mean, I probably like every other one. It's crazy, right? It's
crazy.
There's nothing like member guests, right? So I'm excited for this year. Obviously, last year we didn't have one. This year we got one beginning of August. I got a buddy coming in from Nashville to play in it, and there's nothing like member guest, right? I mean, at clubs, it's just wild.
Yeah, it's we had one of our earlier podcasts. We called our buddy Eric Tangradi. I don't know if you know Eric. I think he played somewhere, maybe in New York.
No.
Yeah, I've never played with him, but I know who you're talking about. Yep.
But he's like, everyone talks about their member guests as being the best member guests of all time, anywhere, everywhere. And that's so true. I mean, you just said it without even us having to say it. I mean, it's the best.
Right.
And I believe that.
Well, it's because you're with 100 guys for 3 days, just boozing, smoking cigars, and telling stories, and on Sunday we're all divorces are being thrown our way because we didn't come home one night or whatever. So.
Yep.
That's exactly right. You look forward to it all year, though, right? Well, I mean, it ends on Sunday, and you're like, when's next year?
Yeah.
What's the date?
That's it. And I have the pleasure of playing with this guy to my right, and all my member guests. So he's
a good friend, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, man, it's definitely a good atmosphere at these member guests. In New York, I mean, generally speaking, there are some. I haven't played.
There's so much good golf.
So much good golf. I mean, I played Wingfoot, but what's that public? Bethpage. I've not played Bethpage.
Yeah, I've not played Bethpage either. But you're right. There's so many good courses in New York, and I was lucky enough, obviously, to be in Florida as well, playing for Tampa, and same thing. I mean, courses everywhere. So we always used to sneak out when we could, and it's like when we were in Tampa, you'd see guys come in for the morning practice, right? And they'd be in their golf clothes. You knew exactly what they were doing when they were leaving practice, Like, where are you playing today? Who's playing with you? You could see 4 guys walk in with golf clothes on. Like, oh, we're going after practice.
Uh-huh.
In the NHL, and that's an interesting thing. I think people think that the hockey players, that's all they do is hockey, that they don't have a life outside of hockey. But in the NHL, when you play in a warmer city, is it generally accepted on your off days or maybe after a practice if you don't have a game the next day to go peg it up?
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just a way to get away from it all too, right? I mean, you're thinking and playing hockey 24/7, you're going to get burned out, worn out. So you have the luxury of living in a warm city where, you can play golf in December and get away from the game a little bit and, just get outside and clear your head. It's definitely welcomed, and it's not frowned upon at all by, coaches or the organization. It's known. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a run there with, like, talking about, JT Miller, Hedman, and Stamkos. When we'd fly into a city towards the end of the year. So cities were getting not nice, but warm enough to golf, and we'd just find any muni anywhere. We were flying into Detroit. We'd find a muni, put on our winter hat, sweatshirts, go rent clubs, and go play 18 holes. I mean, it's just something to do.
Yeah, you can't beat it, and you just can't beat it. You can't beat it. Have you ever played any golf in West Virginia?
I have not. Nope.
Oh man, we gotta get you down.
Let me know when. I'm in.
Yeah, we'll try to link something up and maybe do something for the charity. But no, that's the beautiful thing about golf, man. It connects people. Like I don't have a gold medal, a silver medal, a red medal. I've never skated on the ice in a professional realm. I mean, I played ice hockey for 8 years with my buddy here to my right. I got to like Pee Wee, and I bailed out. But what do we have here as a common denominator? Golf, and I think it's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Anybody can play the sport. Old, young, doesn't matter. You're right. It's a sport that brings everybody together, and it's such a fun sport to play as well. Challenging, which is good, right? It gets your competitive nature, your juice is flowing, but anybody could do it, which is beautiful.
Have you, when you were playing in the NHL, have you ever had any games reffed by Kerry Fraser?
Oh yeah, yep.
So we had old Kerry on here. He was our second episode, and he's a legend, but number one. But number two, he is a golf nut.
Yeah,
so,
I have heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, but he's not really well received here in Pittsburgh. I don't know why, but But no, hey, listen, I think if we can make something happen,
yeah, we got
with my partner here
down to the beautiful state of West Virginia and let him see some mountains.
Let's do it.
And
that'd be awesome.
I'm sure
we'll call your buddy Millsy up and we'll get him down there. It'll be fun.
Yeah, he that's what he just texted me when are we playing golf. So that would be fantastic to have you down this way.
Yeah, I'm in anything to play golf. I'll do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, Well, actually, dude, we should just take Ryan up to Nemacolin.
Yeah, so there's a 5-star resort here in our backyard, Nemacolin. Two Pete Dye golf courses. Are you familiar with it?
I've heard of it before. Yep.
Yeah, so they're a sponsor of the show. So we might need to work in you coming with JT and Trocheck all at the same time. Bring the wives and let's play some golf and chat golf and yeah.
Do it. Sounds good. Let's plan it. Let's get it going.
We have the tap-in segment. So, yeah, it's supposed to be a little fun part of the show where we just ask some random off-the-wall questions. And so let's transition over to the tap-in segment here with Jonathan taking it over.
All right, I'm just going to say a few words. You tell me what first comes to your mind.
All right.
Favorite golf course?
Probably Concessions in Florida. I've only played it once, but challenging and absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I've heard that actually. Concession, yeah.
I've never played it.
Well, no, obviously I haven't, but you know.
Yeah, it's a beautiful course. They have the I don't know if they still do it. They had the NCAA tournaments there for a while, the finals. But yeah, absolutely beautiful course and very challenging.
All right, favorite NHL moment.
Probably beating the Rangers in Game 7 on Garden Ice with Tampa in the conference finals.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I got traded, obviously, and the following year we went to the conference finals, played them in Game 7, at the Garden, where I grew up. So,
right.
To get that win and go on to the Stanley Cup finals, that was a special moment when that game had its been on the ice, just thinking about everything.
Right. All right. I know JT mentioned Guinness, but what's your drink of choice?
Drink of choice. That's a tough one because I'm literally, I could go from wine to beer to vodka to tequila. I'm all over the board. So I'm not picky when it comes to my booze.
As long as it's wet, right?
Exactly. It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm having a nice steak dinner, I'll go with wine. If I'm want to turn it up a bit, maybe a little tequila, but from outside grilling, I need a beer. So.
All right. Well, what about on the golf course? What are you drinking on the golf course? There we go.
I'm drinking beer usually.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Definitely a beer on the course. Yeah.
I've been on a transfusion kick.
Oh boy.
That was definitely a hockey player's response. Well, I like tequila, the wine, the vodka, maybe a beer.
That's it. The boys can drink.
Yeah.
Whatever you're throwing at me, I'll take it.
That's it.
All right, last one. What's in the bag? What are you playing in your golf bag? Driver, 3-wood, wedges?
I got PXG everything right now. I got fitted by them a couple of years ago down in Florida, and I've enjoyed them. So from driver down to my wedges is all PXG right now.
They've built a nice brand there. That's for sure.
Their first driver was not good.
Yeah.
I was hitting that thing like 210. I'm like, what the hell is happening with my driver right now? I mean, they're hitting driver 170 yards past me. I'm like, this thing is not right.
That's actually the one club in my bag. I've debated switching a couple times now. So I could be in the market.
Yeah, well,
for me, the TaylorMade Sim is what I've been looking at. So
yeah,
that's
Sim
the move.
2 is stupid good right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk about it all the time, and we'll talk about it again. It's the best. What are you gonna do?
So maybe you're swaying me. Maybe I need to go switch it up.
Uh-huh.
Go to the pro shop right now.
There you go.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate you jumping on here and having a little 36-minute banner talk about golf and hockey and your charity and Olympics. I mean, you had a lot of good things in your career. You were chasing birdies, as we say, and I wish you the best of luck now as you potentially switch over to the next chapter of your career.
Absolutely, fellas. Thanks for having me on. Enjoyed myself, and we'll set up a round of golf and we'll chase some birdies, as you guys say.
Yeah, we'll get you out this way in August or September, buddy.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, Rod, thanks so much, man. Take care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous, huh?
It's awesome. I mean, that's my next T-shirt. Awesome. Everybody makes fun of me for unbelievable. It was awesome.
Yeah, we can't even sell one, let alone two. So
Unbelievable is the fastest selling t-shirt going. But anyways, enough of that. Ryan Callahan, thank you again, sir. We appreciate you. Go check out his foundation. It's really cool what he's doing. I know we're getting involved in some capacity in donating for some. We're talking to his wife a little bit on that. But yeah, man, again, the next interview.
Yeah.
Some of you ladies, some of you gents, watch it because of your ladies. But Southern Charm star Shep Rose is coming on next, talking about, fishing, surfing, golfing, and it's going to be a good one. So we're really excited to bring that to your ears. And again, guys, all through the end of September, you buy something on the site, you go into a draw and come to Nemacolin to play golf with Ryan Bashauer and Jonathan Pepe.
Oh, what a treat.
I mean, if that doesn't get you going.
I mean, you guys will laugh your ass off all day watching us play. And that's what it's about. Laugh at us. We love it. We love it. But no, seriously, yeah. Check out that site, chasinbirdies.co. Get you some swag. Keep rolling some stuff out. Shep Rose coming up next on Chasin Birdies. So I guess it's going to be on the 16th of September coming to you on that date. So be sure to check it out. And we thank you again for listening.
Chasin_birdies, Instagram, Chasin Birdies on Facebook, chasinbirdies.co website. Go purchase something. Tell your friends about it.
Yeah, tell your mom and grandma.
Subscribe. Listen.
Yep. Do it.
Thanks again, guys.
Hey, guys, thank y'all. And thank y'all for Simpler Media for putting this thing together. And Rachel London for handling all of our social media needs. Ciao.